Hi, we are here to support small and medium businesses increase their productivity by going paperless. In this episode, we are going to give 3 reasons why paper documents reduce productivity. Did you know that 30% of your revenue is spent on maintaining paper documents? I'm going to take you through why I believe this is true and how we can be able to minimize this cost. This is because using paper documents will cost you money, time, and also cause you operational inefficiencies. Why I believe paper documents will cost money is because when you're processing paper documents, you have to have a printer or a copier. To manage to get these paper documents, you have to buy paper, you have to buy ink, you have to buy toners, you have to call for maintenance, so you have to pay the technician. All that is money. I remember when we used to use paper documents, when we are doing tenders, we had to get a lot of paper to do these tenders. And you had to buy ink, which is quite costly. You had to call in a technician to maintain this printer or this copier. And also when you were to share these documents with the other stakeholders, we had to print out. So there's a lot of duplication, which is usually a waste of money. And it's quite expensive. When we moved to the digital space, we eliminated the cost of our maintenance of the printers. We eliminated the cost of paper. We eliminated the cost of ink, the toners, and maintenance. We no longer were calling in technicians to manage the machines. We eliminated the machines altogether. So the cost dropped drastically. And I also believe time used is equals to money. Let's look at a state of a team member stopped doing what she does, which brings returns on investment to the company, to go and start looking for a paper document. That time does not equal her salary. Let me give a story that I remember. I was having a conversation with a client of mine about how cumbersome using paper documents are. And the client remembered a story whereby they were searching for a document. They had been sued by one of their long-term suppliers. So they had to look for this document which they had been storing. When the files were full in the cabinet, they would move them to the store. And in the store, they were not actually keeping these documents systematically. They were just being thrown in the store. So now they had to go back to their old documents to search for one document. So that means they had to stop a number of employees to go into the store to search for this one document. They removed all the files in the store and searched one by one for this specific document. And this took them a whole week. That was a whole week of wasted time. How much do you think this one costed them? And at the end of the day, they had to go and outsource. And as you know, this outsourcing comes with repercussions, which is additional costs, and it can be quite expensive. They had no option, as for this letter was the ultimate for them to win the case. So they were advised about a certain company that also sorts out and categorizes documents. And the company had to do the same case. They had to sort out each and every file and arrange systematically and categorize them as per they were supposed to be. And finally, the document was found. But this was a whole month of work. The team had to stop doing their productive work to search for the documents, which could not have happened if these were digital documents. This is something that they could have just gotten by a click of a button. So you can imagine the lots of time they spent on searching for these documents, and the time and the money that was spent on paying for this outsourced company. So now when you look at inefficiency, as you can note from the previous my previous story, what really led to this loss of time and money was inefficiency. And this inefficiency came with the way they were handling their documents. Yes, they were following the right process of using the of producing the paper documents, filing them, and in the long run, putting them in the store. But at what cost? Let's look at it if these were now digital documents, which were stored in the digital repository. This could have saved them time because now, let's look at it from the customer point of view. If a customer came in and they were supposed to serve a customer, searching for this document could have taken them a long time. But if it was in the digital format, it was just search, use the metadata, and get the document for the customer. So having the paper documents were also very frustrating to their customers. And this was just because of inefficiency. So having paper documents cause loss of time, loss of money, and operational inefficiency. Thank you for listening to this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. For more resources, click the links below.